Yo, everyone. Hip hop is going so far down. It is ridiculous. Remember when hip hop was like the peak of its just greatness? Hip hop used to be so much fun, energetic. There were some the horrible moments with hip hop as well, but there was a lot of just innovation and stuff going on in hip hop in the '90s, going up into the 2000s. It was it was the peak of everyone. Just everyone was over hip hop. Look at hip hop now. It's definitely has gone so far down. There's only a few artists that are really holding hip hop up by the straps, just trying to keep it up out of the water. It is crazy. And yes, this topic is about the women in hip hop currently. So if you haven't checked it out, if you haven't seen what's been going on, there's been hella beefs happening on social media with female hip hop artists that I think it is ridiculous. I remember. Yes, I'm old. So yes, I'm gonna go. I remember back in my day. Back in my day. Growing up in the '90s and everything throughout the whole '90s and going into like the early 2000s and everything, women in hip hop were so much more together, bonded. They were so much more just friends, and you can tell from interviews and songs and stuff that they put out. There was so much more friendships and togetherness when it comes to female artists, not just women in hip hop, but female artists and everything. Everyone was more just willing to work and help each other build up. They were trying to help build this person up, this person up. Everyone was working together as female artists. One strong female artist that was one of the main ones trying to build up other females in the industry was Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott was friends with a lot of female artists. She worked with so many female artists and was trying to build up so many female artists, whether it was in R&B or hip hop. She was very friendly with the Brat. They were really good friends. Eve. She was friends with Trina. She was friends with Little Kim. She was friends with TLC, Left Eye from TLC. She was friends with Beyonce now, Destiny's Child. She was always trying to push women. She helped women, was trying her best to help women grow. That was like Tweet and everything. She was trying to help build women up. And she still kind of does that to this day. Her recent one that I've heard her talk and praise about was Fly on a Boss, which is a female duo currently. But Missy Elliott has always been that of just trying to push women and trying to be a stand for women. There were female beefs back in the day as well. Little Kim and Foxy Brown had their beef. They had some feuds back in the day. There was a crazy. I want to say it was like a shootout or something that happened between them, and there's a diss tracks and stuff thrown at each other for sure. But yeah, it was definitely some beefs there. But at the most part, a lot of women always were trying to help and work with each other, and Lil Kim even did that with the Not Tonight song, which like Ladies Night remix that she had. She had nothing but female artists, rappers, and she brought them all together to do the remix for her song, and it was great. But it's not like that anymore. It's definitely not like that anymore. You definitely see how things are. We do know the history of what happened, like in the 2010s and stuff, with Nicki Minaj being like the only one kind of holding females in hip hop down. Um, so we know Nicki Minaj is going to be a legend in hip hop just because of how long she didn't have that many like studio records, but she was holding it down for women in hip hop for a number of years when women in the mainstream wasn't given that much shine. I think Nicki Minaj should have been like Missy Elliott in the point of her helping build up other female artists and other female rappers. She should have been the one pushing for that togetherness, but it seems like nowadays she's more pushing for divide and hate for some reason. And I'm not trying to pick sides when it comes to everything. I don't like Cardi B personally, just how she acts. There's a lot of things about her that I don't typically care for. But we all know the beef she has with Cardi B. I don't like Nicki personally because I think a lot of the things she's doing right now is um, definitely messed up as far as things go and how she attacks everyone around her. But it's been that mentality for her for the longest. To be, she want it to me. It seemed like she always wanted to be the only one. She didn't really want to help other female artists. She kind of attacked, but not really dismantle everyone like horribly. But everyone who was about to build up or was building up in hip hop, as far as the female artists go, she kind of tore them down a little bit. Not everyone, but a lot. When Iggy came on, she kind of threw shade at Iggy Azalea. We know she had beef with Azalea Banks. It wasn't bad or anything as far as this huge beef at first between her and Cardi, but they had the beef start, and it's like yeah, which mostly put that blame on Cardi more than I did Nicki for the start of that beef, but but it then it seemed like for whatever reason when she did try to help other artists and stuff, they then fell apart for some reason. Where it's like for instance, Megan Thee Stallion and her did start off okay with each other. They had songs and stuff together. They started off okay, but then some reason it just it just fell apart. It fell apart heavily, and that seemed to be the case with her and a few artists, where it started off okay and then it just fell off. And now you see her on X, formerly known as Twitter, just trashing a whole bunch of women, whether it's the beef with her and JT. She has a beef with Megan. She attacked Doechii out of nowhere. And then she went against SZA because SZA chimed in. But it's weird to me that she should be one that's building up other women, being that she is this like you call her legend now, but she's one of the top women in hip hop, and you would think that she would help with her influence, help other females out. Um, and it's not the case anymore. It's not the case of women just helping each other, build each other, and everything. And it's sad. It is definitely sad. They should be Nicki Minaj especially, but other females. No, Cardi is friendly with Megan Thee Stallion and stuff, so there's still friendships around when it comes to hip hop. We had not too long ago, Lotto and Ice Spice. They kind of squashed their beef because they had beef and stuff before, because they kind of like so-called copying each other or whatever beef and stuff that is. It was a small beef. I didn't think it was that serious. Didn't seem like it was that serious, but they seem to squash their beef. They have a song together out right now. I love to see that. So you still have like some friends and some groups, but you would think that there'd be more of pushing other female artists. It should be the big names should be helping build new artists to get a little shine. Uh, and artists who are now booming, they should be there helping and supporting. They don't have to actually like make music with them, but they should be supporting them in their efforts at least when they start booming and everything. When Doechii started blowing up, there should have been more push socially to be like, hey, check her out. Especially being one of the only like main dark skinned women in the mainstream, because majority of the women that are mainstream in hip hop are light skinned. Most of everyone is light skinned women. And for someone to come in who is dark skinned and getting this huge, huge light shine on them, you would think that they would want to help push her and stuff as well. And be like, hey, check out Doechii. Hey, Doechii's doing her thing. Hey, Doechii, instead of just trying to tear her down because her numbers dropped or something like that, which I think is very petty and weird. But you know, people tend to be petty and weird nowadays, which is crazy. And then also, there's other female artists that should be kind of pushed so people know, hey, these women are currently trying to do that thing. They've been at it for a little couple of years, like Fly on the Boss. They should be getting a little shine. Hey, these women, they're doing their thing over here. Or women who have been at it for a number of years, been rapping for a number of years. It should be more, positions to be like, hey, these women are doing their thing. Whether it's like Rico Nasty or I'm always be a big supporter of Tara Whack. Tara Whack is doing her thing right now. And you would think that that would be a push to like, hey, these artists, check them out. I would love to work with them one day, or they're doing their thing. Just little highlights, just things on social media and stuff like that. To just like, hey, they're doing great at the moment. Nice flow, like something nice about them. It doesn't even have to be something ridiculous, but you don't have to be fake. But just something that you do like about what they're trying to do, instead of always being negative. And it seems like the industry is just everyone's being negative towards each other in a world that's already filled with negativity. Why continuously push hate and negativity and embrace goodness and God and everything else when it comes to, you know, what's going on? Build more of just a better light when it comes to everything. I don't understand it, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents of stuff that's going on. It's definitely pretty weird as far as just how hip hop has gone. And I'll make more videos regarding hip hop and what's been going on with it and how sad it's been. But I'm also trying to highlight other artists and stuff that should be highlighted. So, for us female hip hop artists, check out Fly on a Boss. Give them a little like that. They don't have like a crazy amount of just like songs that a lot of people just love. Understand? They are like niches type of just look and character and stuff like that. But sometimes that's fun. They don't have to be very. I don't want to use the word. I'm end up using it, but like ratchet or very sexualized or ghetto or like artists don't have to be that way, and it tends to be a pushback against women who try to just stand out in very unique niches when it comes to their looks and character and wardrobe and stuff like that, how people carry themselves. I think that's the reason why Tara Whack isn't highlighted a lot. Is just because she is kind of one of those people who just seems like a lot of people who don't typically tend to go for because of how she looks, how she tends to do when it comes to her music videos and stuff like that. But I like that. I like uniqueness. I like people who tend to stand out. And that's what she does. Tara Whack does a great job in standing out and holding herself up in a strong high of just like, I'm here and this is what it is. And she got great flow. I love her flow when it comes to rapping. She is so freaking talented. But I think the way she looks and how she acts tends to push a lot of people more into the more, again, don't want to say it, but like the ratchetness, the ghettoist stuff. They tend to like not go towards her, and that's been the case with a lot of artists and stuff that try to stand out on their own with unique looks and everything. They tend to go against them heavily. They tend to go against them heavily because they tend to call them corny, stuff like that. Just not the typical of what you would see when it comes to blackness in hip hop. So the gangster looks and stuff like that, which I think is kind of messed up. But yeah, it's another topic for another day. But yeah, just wanted to highlight those two artists just to kind of end it on a positive note. Check out Tara White. Check out Fly on the Boss. I've also heard about O Slice before. It's been pretty interesting. She's a Nigerian American, so she's pretty fun, wild. So yeah, check out O Slice. But there's a ton of other female artists out there that's not getting a lot of shine that should be highlighted. So yeah, check out new artists all the time, please. Besides just the mainstream women and everything. So yeah, we'll end it that way. Take care.